What would you do if you saw a wild animal in danger? Would you immediately come to the rescue? But what if I told you that sometimes saving an animal would mean its demise? Every year we get reports from all over the world of whales and dolphins that for some reason are washed up ashore. This happened even in the time of Aristotle. That is, it's nothing new. But scientists still can't figure out why marine animals would do something like this at all. I already mentioned this in previous videos, so now I'm curious about something else. What do you do if you find a dolphin washed up on shore? Pushing it back into the water sounds like a logical thing to do, right? In January 2021, a young male dolphin was discovered by locals on a beach in Harrison County, Mississippi. The poor animal was struggling in shallow water and was in very bad condition. Also, the animal was completely disoriented. A similar story happened a year later, in January 2022, when another young dolphin ended up on the shore of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Perhaps it happened due to the storm, and the dolphin wasn't strong enough to fight it. In both cases, locals didn't try to get the dolphin back to the sea, but immediately called the rescue crew who deal with marine animals. And this saved the lives of the dolphins. It seems a little weird. I mean, dolphins live in the water. They don't feel well without water. Wouldn't it be better to bring them back home? Things are actually much more complicated and interesting. Here's what the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals has to say about it. Often beached animals are dying or seriously ill, so much so that they can't just swim away to live their happy life like in Finding Nemo. Such animals require urgent medical attention, which of course is nowhere to be found in the sea. A sick dolphin washed up ashore is doomed if you simply get it back into the water. But if you let the vets handle this, the dolphin will have at least some chance. So if you suddenly find a dolphin stranded on the shore, or as a matter of fact stumble upon a wild animal somewhere in an unusual place, and you aren't 100% sure what to do, call the experts and follow their lead. The world will thank you. And here's a great example of how real professionals do their job. Ian Waugh, a retired biologist, spotted a doe and a fawn stuck in the middle of a lake. If you've ever seen how animals act on ice, you'll understand how they can get stuck. Their legs just splayed at any attempt to get up. Actually, it's not a unique situation. I've seen videos like that. But Mr. Watt didn't try to go out on the ice and somehow help the deer, who'd been struggling for several hours. Instead, he called the Department of Natural Resources. The ice was too thin to pull the animals from the shore, and then Dave Farrell, the helicopter pilot, decided to just blow them off. Yeah, it looks as crazy as it sounds. The force of the wind from helicopter blades is strong enough to blow, well, anyone away. The doe, of course, resisted at first, but then relaxed and started sliding towards the shore. Well, I don't know if the animals enjoyed this experience, but the pilot saved them from certain death anyway. How long would the mother and calf survive being stuck on the ice? Probably not for long, although sometimes animals are surprisingly sturdy. See this female crocodile? 15 feet of fury. This animal somehow got stuck in a motorcycle tire in 2016. It's still not clear how this happened. Maybe the tire's part of a failed trap, or maybe it's just rubbish the predator swam in by accident. Whatever the case, the crocodile with the strange necklace was first noticed in 2016 in Indonesia, and since then they've been trying to save the poor animal. It turned out to be a really difficult task. A huge, predatory, potentially deadly animal, probably endangered, and no, they couldn't just sedate the crocodile, have the tire removed, and then release the animal back into the wild. Why? Well, the predator could swim away before the medicine takes effect. In short, the conservationists needed a real professional who could handle an adult crocodile without any tranquilizer. They even offered a reward for that. Yes, some people tried to do that, but only in January 2022. That is 6 years. Think about it, 6 years with a tire around the croc's neck. He came. A 35-year-old bird catcher and trader, Tilly, and yes, we only know his first name, decided to save the reptile. The guy had experience catching runaway farm animals, and that seemed to be enough. No, really. After 3 weeks of waiting and several attempts, the crocodile finally fell into the trap. With the help of two of his friends, Tilly pulled the captured crocodile ashore and sawed through the tire. Mission accomplished. After that, locals contacted firefighters and the Wildlife Protection Agency to get the predator back to its normal crocodile life. But what if there's not a tire, but a whole tree around the animal's neck? Seems like Steve and I talked a while ago about cows rescued from such traps, but this one's different. Two bear cubs in Wisconsin apparently climbed into a hollow tree and got stuck there. Well, anything can happen. The cubs made strange whining sounds. They clearly needed help.
Help me! Help me!
These sounds caught the attention of a local who called the sheriff's department. They in turn contacted the Department of Natural Resources, which sent two experts to the scene. Let me repeat, these were professionals. If you suddenly come across bears stuck in a tree, don't try to pull them out. It was easier to rescue these cubs than a crocodile or cows. People simply sawed a hole in the tree and stepped aside. The cubs, covered with tree shavings, got out and quickly ran into the forest. They were probably worried that their mother would find out what they were up to. But okay, let's be honest. Experts don't always have the time and opportunity to help all animals in need. So in Bulgaria, the locals handled that by themselves. In March 2018, a cold snap, strong winds, and snowstorms took the storks by surprise.
Hey, what happened?
During the flight, their wings were covered in ice, so the birds had to spend the night not on the trees, but right on the ground. Of course, when it's 27 degrees Fahrenheit outside, sleeping on the ground isn't the brightest idea. Locals took frozen birds home so that they could warm up and eat. However, the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center asked people not to take in just any stork, but only, I quote, those who are in a state of distress, injured, or with frozen wings. Locals were also advised to release all the rescued birds back into nature as soon as possible. However, wild animals are still wild. As soon as the storks felt better, they immediately began to pinch humans with their beaks. Although grabbing a frozen stork in a field and carrying it home is not the most difficult job, what if you come across a duck trapped in ice, trapped bottom up? Yes, ducks hold their breath well, but not forever. Every minute counts there. Lars Joran Langoen noticed a bird in Lake Sonsvan near Oslo when he was about to swim in December in cold water. Lars had already undressed, so he just climbed into the lake, broke the ice, and pulled the poor duck ashore. But the bird seemed lifeless, even on land. So Lars performed CPR on a duck. However, after I learned he loves swimming in ice water, nothing surprises me. In any case, it helped the duck. It came to her senses and ran away, though a little groggy. Later, the bird was identified as a Bucephala duck, a duck that feeds from the bottom of the ponds. In short, it's how exactly it got stuck in the ice. It's just like that rat that tried to get out through the sewer hatch but failed because it's chubby. The stuck animal was squeaking. The animal rescue team member couldn't do anything and called the firefighters as reinforcements. And now imagine, a fully equipped fire truck with firefighters in full uniform arrives on the scene to rescue a chubby rat. At least 8 firefighters surround the hatch to assess the situation. They used special wedges, a special pole with a loop, and together, 8 of them set the rat free. Perhaps feeling positive the animal had learned its lesson, rescuers placed it back in the sewer. The rat wasn't hurt. But if you, like me, thought that 8 rescuers for one small animal was overkill, then here's another story. People had to turn off half the power in Stow-on-the-Wold in Gloucestershire to rescue a cat from an electricity pole. The cat named Gryffindor somehow, well, like any other cat actually, climbed onto the nearest electricity pole. The owner realized she wouldn't be able to rescue her pet herself and called the firemen. But their ladder was made of metal, which meant putting it near the pole was a huge risk. So they had to turn off half the electricity in the city. It took 5 firefighters and 3 electricians to save Griffey from the pole. This story has a happy ending. Probably no one climbs as mindlessly high as cats, I thought. Then Steve showed me a video with a raccoon. a wild raccoon that climbed the net of a golf club to a height of 66 feet and, of course, got stuck there. But as soon as the rescuers tried to get close to the animal, it tried to run away. Apparently, this net didn't bother the raccoon that much. The bad news? The animal fell down. The good news? It landed safely on the net and tried to climb back up again. Okay, it was probably just looking for an escape. As a result, they caught the raccoon with a scoop net. Not a single rescuer was injured, and the raccoon was taken to the vet and then released into the wild in a couple of days. I can actually hear it running away saying, "I hate golf. Won't ever set my foot there." But are animal rescue stories any good without one about a strong interspecies friendship? Xavier Bouget, a pensioner from France's Brittany region, noticed a tiny, almost featherless pigeon chick that had fallen out of its nest. The cat was going to eat the chick. At first, the man didn't think to help the bird, but when he returned home, he told his wife the story, and she asked, "Well, why in the hell didn't you help?" So Xavier brought the chick home, fed it with a syringe for a month and a half, and soon got a feathered friend. For more than 2 years, the pigeon named Blancon has been following its owner everywhere. And this is a relationship of two equals based on mutual trust. See you later.